Would you do that?
Destroy something so that someone else couldn't have it?
No, yeah, you would do it because you used to use up my super when we played the game, so I couldn't use it, and you ain't did no work in the game. I remember that. I don't even know why I asked you that question.
Wait, what game are we talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies the Shop. I am your host Sinji. With me, as always, my co-host Irbay. What's up, Irby?
You know, the sky, the ceilings, inflation,
Inflation is
bills,
definitely
debt.
up.
Yeah, all the stuff is up.
Highest in my lifetime.
You ain't been alive too long, so
Still highest in my
highest
lifetime.
so far.
27 years is a lot of years, dog.
No, it ain't long enough.
That is. Hold on. 27 years is 9,855 days. That is 236,520 hours.
What is this, math school?
14,191,200 minutes. 851,472,000 seconds. Shall I go on?
No, please stop.
One more. 1,702,944,000 half seconds. I just made one up. I don't know. But
You
what's up,
did.
Herbie?
You know, nothing. I don't want to say anything else. We get another long-winded soliloquy. So I'm gonna get right into it. Yeah, flavor of the week. You got one?
I got one and I got a runner up, but really I just have the one.
Okay, okay. Well, get the folks what they want.
Okay, all right. Starting with the runner up. You were there for this one. In The Devil's a Part Timer when the assistant got shot by Lucifer, and then he was just like, and Mao was like holding him, and he's just like, just promise me one thing. If you rent a movie, do it on the first. It's half off.
Yeah, my man was he's a real cheapo,
Hey man, he's in charge of the budget.
frugal, but I can respect him because he always came to work though, or he came to do what he was supposed to do when he was supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't too mad at him.
But my actual flavor this week is coming out of the Tomodachi game, and it's when Kataguri Yuichi exposes Tenji in like the first half. And my man was just playing the big IQ plays. It's hard to describe without spoiling, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, just gonna spoil it.
Nah, dog, you'll enjoy it.
I might not never watch it.
You will.
You don't know that.
I do.
I might just be bored.
You might.
Yeah, it
What's your
could be.
flavor?
Uh, there were just so many flavors that encompassed my week this week. But yeah. So I finished up that I'm a spider, so what? So it was pretty good. I enjoyed how they brought the character, the spider life character, and the girl's personality out through her little movements. Uh, it was nice. I enjoyed it. It's nice little series. The ending, I kind of was like, "Ooh, this is it. This is all
Yeah,
you're doing."
yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking hell,
so,
dog. It was just like, damn, there ain't gonna be another episode after this, is there? I was like, nope.
yeah, mm-mm. Yeah. So I enjoyed the series. It was a nice watch. I call it a cross between Alpharetta and Slime.
What's weird
So
is her personality in human form is completely different than her personality as a spider.
I don't think it was that it was different. I think she felt like a loner or whatever. So she didn't voice it when she was with people. But when she was in her cave doing herself, or like if she was at home playing video games, like those people probably saw more of her personality than anyone. So
Yeah,
That's what I would say.
yeah. I mean, she got a bad human form though.
Yeah,
That
it.
fucking when she first got it and she was like human torso with over spider body. I was like, ew, kill that.
Nah, that was the best form. Nah, but there was just a whole lot there to digest. But yeah, we can talk about that at the end. Get through our main course first. Finish up with some desserts.
Oh, what smut Tower of God? That um that political episode of Jujutsu.
Yeah, and super.
Oh yeah, Super.
Yeah.
There was a lot in Super that happened.
Yeah, a lot, but a little at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Goku got his ass beat. Then Vegeta got his ass beat. Gas was trying to charge up a super powerful shot for the end, and they kept
Yeah.
stalling. They kept stalling. They kept stalling. Or Granola, I'm sorry, Granola was charging a super powerful shot. And Goku and
Yeah.
Vegeta were just stalling gas. And then Goku activated that spiritual mode that he did on Mortal, the last arc, and chucked the man in the air. Because, like, if you fire that here, you're going to destroy the planet you love so much. So Goku just chucked him in the air, and gas fired a freaking giant bullet, and dude came crashing down. And they're like, "Are we gonna finish him off?" Like, nah, not worth it.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting to note that that gas, his I guess the new form, whatever eats away at his life force and his energy. So like his body was all out of sync fighting. So I'm pretty sure he'll probably die even if they don't kill him off real quick.
Yeah, he'll probably die.
Yeah. Side effect of being too strong for your own body.
So here's we know there's gonna be another arc, right?
Maybe. I don't know. They might have to hang it up. I mean, there's a whole nother movie coming out, so
I think the movie's out. Well, it's just not out
yeah.
over here yet, but the movie's out.
Yeah, it's
And
coming
that
out
movie doesn't really have
soon.
much to do with the current. It's mainly a. I think I hear Cell makes an appearance in that movie.
Yeah, I did think about that the other day. With when they were looking for people, why didn't they bring back Cell? They brought back Frieza. Cell probably would have been a great addition.
Frieza's the more popular villain.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but people just like Frieza. That's why they gave him the power boost, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. Cell is he's a stronger villain.
He ain't beating Goku.
Technically, he did beat Goku.
He did, but he ain't.
He ain't beating Gohan.
He is.
He ain't beat Gohan, that's for sure.
He didn't, but he will now. If they gave Cell like a power up like Frieza, so I'm pretty sure. Well, Gohan apparently has a new form in this movie too, but like I doubt Gohan can compete with Vegeta and his dad.
Yeah.
So the fact that he can't compete even with, I'm assuming his new form is also gonna not be able to compete with like Ultra Ego and like Ultra Instinct. So that would mean that if Cell does make an appearance in this movie, Cell probably can't compete with Frieza because they
Maybe.
gave Frieza the power to kind of compete with Goku and Vegeta. Although Frieza, he'd get washed by them like 100 out of 100 times.
Maybe like it's down.
I would have nah, I guess Super Boo and Kid Boo would be too hard to control. They don't really have
Yeah.
the Kid Boo doesn't really have the intellectual side. I don't think Super Boo would care.
Yeah. Probably not.
Damn, there was
Who
only three
knows?
major villains in Dragon Ball Z.
Nah, yeah, maybe four.
Who would you consider the fourth one?
I would you gotta consider Vegeta a whole villain. So Vegeta, Frieza, Cell.
You would consider him a major villain though?
Yeah, without Vegeta, you wouldn't have gotten Frieza. So
Yeah, I guess. All right, so Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, and then the booze.
but yeah, yeah, Raditz wouldn't. I wouldn't call him a major one, but he did set off everything in motion. Though
Hey, he was stronger than everyone on Earth at one point.
he was still weak though,
Still weak.
real weaky weak. Yeah, so yeah, let's get into some jujutsu.
Oh, the political episode.
Yeah, not much there. They talk about some man named Shino. They send him back in time 150 years. So apparently they can time travel. And let's see.
Do you know who the hell Kaio is? Kayao?
No, I have no idea.
Me either.
I probably forgot him.
I was like,
And yeah,
Maki, I wish I could be just as surprised as you were, but I don't remember who the hell that was. If it was someone I knew prior.
Naoya. I think that might have been. I think that was the one Zenin leader uh, that could stop time or something. Or he had the sword, and like he wasn't supposed to be like the main leader or whatever. But then like he kind of like forced his way to be the main leader.
Mm-hmm.
The name's familiar now, but like I
You
can't.
think you think that's why he's so fast? Because he might be the guy that can manipulate time a little.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking it might be like reincarnations of all the people she killed that used their cursed energy to adhere to each other and become a super being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait another 8 days and see. Put your hands where my eyes can see. The place to be. Yeah, so not much. So let's get into TOG because boy, they had some nice stuff in here, boy.
Hey, you're catching up! Yay!
Yeah, I ain't getting no coins though.
Damn.
Yeah, so what's this doing?
Get coins, dog. They'll last you forever.
They ain't gonna last me no long.
$10
I'll,
of
I,
coins is 100 coins. $5 a chapter. You're gonna use 15 right away to catch up, and then you'll be on a weekly basis using 5 a week. You five. You'll have them for 20 weeks. You don't read any other webtoons, do you?
I do read a bunch of other
You
webtoons.
don't use coins on any other webtoons, do you?
No, I don't use coins or anything
Yo,
because if it ain't free, it ain't for me.
20 weeks, dog. 20 weeks.
I don't need 20 weeks. I'll just wait till they come out.
That is roughly 5 months, depending on how the weeks get distributed.
And I'm fine with that. I'm a
Damn.
patient man.
Damn.
So I'll just wait up. Yeah. So Tower of God, season 3, episodes 68 to 75. It
68 to
starts off with
75.
yeah, it starts off with them agreeing to work with Caliban to minimize casualties and to save Jin Sung Ha. And so Caliban calls Bam his eternal enemy. I'm like, okay, that's cool. They're gonna have an enemy alone, but I still think his eternal enemy is probably Rachel.
That
But
bitch.
yeah, and we find out that Caliban learns that there's not Caliban, Avankil learns that there's a place where they don't stand a chance of winning in the cat tower. And she's going to get the sniper to show her, and she's going to go destroy it. And let's see here. And yes, Recha, he starts up a game uh, where everyone has to like pick out a suitable target to fight. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting. A game. Yeah. Let's see. And then it goes back to the needle, and there's like these twin women's. They're named Sophia. Their wave controllers by Sophia Tan. Just call it Noma and Sola. And Bam and Horion are they wait until they fire the magical cannons. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're gonna wait. And then they finally fire them and they go in there. I'm like, oh, snap. And then so we find out that Sophia had agreed to lend aid in this battle, and Caliban confronts some feline people, and he kind of shoots at him, and he's like, "Oh, where's your commander?" He's all big and bad. Because at first I thought he shot him and killed him. I was like, "Oh snap!" But he didn't. And yeah, Strasha shows up, and there's more to gain. Turns out some other stuff, and then we find out that Jihad and the family heads are irregulars, and so that got me thinking. I was like, if they're irregulars, why do they fear regulars so much? And what is the definition of an irregular? Because I was thinking, if they have kids, their kids should be part irregular. So isn't everyone in the tower irregular?
Hmm. No,
I mean, that makes sense though.
it does, but no.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not understanding it because everyone's irregular. Or maybe it's like someone born outside the tower that died that came back or something. Is that what makes you irregular?
Nah, it's like the tower. It's not if you're outside the tower and come in that you're irregular. It's if the tower doesn't. If you're not chosen to come into the tower, you have to be chosen to come into the tower to become a regular. And Bam wasn't chosen by rankers or anything. He opened the door by himself, according to the beginning. But since Rachel was like under Bam, Rachel slipped through first, even though the tower wanted Bam instead of Rachel.
Yeah. I mean, I still understand it, but if you got a regulars running having babies, them babies is half a regulars. Any way you want to slice it. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
And the baby
So
of two worthy people is a worthy baby, right?
yeah, well, if two regulars have a baby, it's a regular. But if a regular and a regular have one, it's only 50% irregular, in my eyes at least. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that's what I thought was interesting. So yeah, Strasser, he's trying to get Caliban to play the game, and he's like, "If you play, I'll let you meet the commander." And Caliban immediately is like, "Oh yeah, I'll play." And he says he breaks his promise. He's like, "I will kill you." He's like, "Oh, no worries, you'll fight him," because he's gonna kill Yestrach in the Fifth Company.
Damn.
And Yama is anxious and ready to fight, and he leaves, and he's like, "Oh, Bam!" Kun tells Bam, ask him what the game is, and he's like, "Oh, this game involves suffering," which I was like, "Ooh, okay, weird twist, but here we go." Yeah, the and the cat. The cat tower involves floating island. Canine hostages are in the tower. He's like, "Oh, some will die and some won't die." And hearing this, Yama immediately rushes to battle. And Avankil shows up, and she's like, "Oh, let's play the game. Just do what they say." And this was also a funny part right here. Khan asks Horion what Avankil was doing, and she said, "I'm a god. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know." so I thought that was pretty funny. Made me laugh, made me chuckle. And then there's a little like rack interpretation that was also funny there. And then we get that the little speedster ranker guy Love wants to fight. And I was like, why do you want to fight? Like the people that killed your parents, you're gonna go join them? Doesn't make much sense, homie.
That's how it be, man. Plot.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he's a triple mole. And so
A,
I don't know.
a triple mole.
Yeah. Mole for enemy, for another enemy, for that enemy.
Yeah.
And yeah, but his reason he says was he doesn't want to back down if regulars are going. And then they reference a thing like Gok Jun Du Seong or something long. It's crazy. And So everyone has to end up fighting in separate parts of the maps to reach where they want to go. They get 20 turns to get where they want to go, and if they don't meet the conditions within the 20 terms, then they get sit off and they can't go there. So the participants also get two routes. You get a safe route or jump ahead, and if you choose to jump ahead, you have to fight a special boss, and you have to defeat the enemies in the prison within 10 minutes. And Bam choose to fight people in the prison, and you can't just defeat him. You got to kill him. I was like, oh man, you're making my boy Bam a killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I got to do what I got to do. He's like, it's so sad.
But you
I
know
wish
what's weird?
Bam.
The concept of time in this scenario right now, because it wasn't that long ago I was reading what you were reading, but then if you do the numbers, that there's a year worth of content between where you are and where I am. It's like, bro, I read that a year ago. No way.
Yeah, I seen it. It came out. This came out like what, April or May of 2021.
That's crazy to me.
Nah, ain't crazy. It's just right. Nah, I mean,
Yeah, but Bam being a killer. Go ahead.
yeah, made my man a killer. Band don't want to kill, but they pushed him. So yeah, the terms count. You have to, if they're still breathing, it still counts. They have to stop breathing. And Yama's path is pretty much straight ahead, and there's like a prison and it's short. And we find that there's species that are brainwashed and captured by Yastracha for like his amusement and such. I'm like, oh, this guy's sick. And
Is he though?
yeah, and then he's real sick, sick in the head. So yeah, so basically, essentially, it boils down to: are you willing to sacrifice someone else for the purpose of your goals, or sacrifice your goals for the purpose of someone else? So I'm like, huh, real sick. It make people hypocriticals. Yeah. So then the other team in the tower, they had split into two teams for this section. It's a cat and mouse side of the tower, and you have to catch a mouse, and then you can teleport to anywhere on the map that you would like to go and help. And then you get the route of the choice, and then after 10 turns on the inside of the tower, you get sent to where a captain is. And then we found out that like spear bearers could attack people and get them out and such. And machinies minions is going to join in on this level. And apparently water's part of this game. And the room fills up, and a low po bia Yororo account is white. I'm like, oh, okay, finna get cracking. And so he wants to team up with White, and he's like, nah, no bueno. And so they start to fight, and the man since he grabs the sword with the bare hands, we find out he's a goblin, and he's outside of the tower's limits. And he's like, oh, apparently there's laws in the tower now that I never knew. And there's a law that Ares swords cannot be uh, beaten or whatever, or caught or something he says, but it doesn't affect him, which I thought was weird. And then we get the first episode warning. I was like, oh, episode warning, that's new. Finna mean some stuff's finna crack on down. Boogie on down tonight.
But you have heard of the rules of the floor rules before.
I heard of floor rules,
Yeah.
but I figured there's floor rules like, oh, you can't use too much magic power, you can't do this, you can't use compression or decompression or something. But
Mm-hmm.
like rules where people's particular weapons can't be cut, that just seems like overpoweredness.
It has to have a drawback though. I think.
It does. That's what they said later. So what's Bam drawback? You gotta have a
Um.
weak heart for blonde women.
Nah. Bam's drawback is the tower doesn't want him, or
Nah,
Jihad doesn't want him. He's irregular. That's his drawback.
yeah, nah. I think it's soft spot for Rachel is his drawback
Nah, he don't even
for a
like
woman
Rachel
that
no
want
more.
him. That's what you think.
He threatened to kill her.
I could threaten to kill you all the time. Tell me I don't like you.
Hey man,
Shoot,
I think Bam has had it with Rachel.
I've had it up to here with everything. Psych. if Rachel asked for help, he'd be like, "Oh, I got you, Rachel. Don't you worry." So, so back to the fight. Fight at hand. White essentially calls the man a failed experiment, and is for those with an inferiority complex that they made up to comfort themselves. So I was like, "Ooh, dang, fighting words." And then the guy essentially says, "Oh, mess around and find out, guy. We'll see." And so he starts blocking all the whites blows, and White's like, "Oh, don't get too cocky." He's like, "I haven't even done my second combo." And then he proceeds to swing his sword and like cut all of his arms off. And I'm like, did that one swing make all 100 of those cuts? Because he just slashed one time and then it just went everywhere. So, and then I also did have another thought. Can White devour animal souls?
I don't see
Or
why
do-
not.
Yeah, because that man could have raised a whole bunch of tadpoles that got real strong.
Raise
If
a
he
whole
just
bunch of
needs,
tadpoles.
yeah, because our caviar could what fish lay like 100 something eggs at a time. That's 100 souls. You know.
Mm-hmm. But I
Yeah,
don't
follow
know.
my mess there. If the man had a fish farm, he'd be unstoppable. And so,
True.
and so, yeah. So then Dewan and Karaka, they make short work of their opponents, and Dewan says, "Oh, I can't believe I can't. I'm working with you or something." Like, because I think they worked together previously back in the day,
Mm.
and so she's like, "Oh, you've got more human like." Yeah, and then they reference like a failed experiment. I'm like, "Ooh, okay, that's weird." And then the guy, forget the guy's name, Heracha. Yeah, that was his name. He says he wants to fight Hanzong because he smells like a hypocrite. And says those that think helping those weaker than them is justice, and they're just superficial hypocrites. Hansung says he talks too much, and he's like, "I'll shut your mouth for you." And then I was like, "Oh no!" There was a mouse and went into some acid, or it was running and Hansung killed it with some acid. I was like, "Oh man, he killed it." And then they give like a fancy spiel about storing something, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta destroy something before someone else gets it, even though I like it or something." I was like, "Oh, well, that's okay, I guess, but I wouldn't destroy something to stop someone else from having it." Would you do that?
Destroy something so that someone else couldn't have it.
No, yeah, you would do it because you used to use up my super when we played the game, so I couldn't use it, and you ain't did no work in the game. I remember that. I don't even know why I asked you that question.
Wait, what game are we talking about?
When we used to play any game with the One Piece game, I used to be killing all the people with the super, and it was linked because our character gauges that it you just run around, you find a big thing of people and just use it. I'm like, bro, that was mine. I earned it, and you just took it.
Yes, I would destroy something. If it was something
Yeah,
I wanted and couldn't have, I would destroy it so someone else couldn't have it.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yes, I would.
It's awful.
All's fair in love and war.
Nah, man, you're just a terrible, terrible, terrible. But yeah, so
Hey
we
man,
found out
you hold on,
what?
hold on. You wouldn't.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Survivor of the fittest. You wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
You're. Let's say you're great with a bow and arrow, and you
Mm-hmm.
find a sword, really, really, really great sword, but you can't use it. Your stats aren't there. Someone else could use it. Someone else might pick it up and hunt you with. You wouldn't break the sword because you wouldn't be able to use it.
It serves no purpose for me to break a sword.
The sword
Like,
could never be
I
used
mean,
against you.
if you hunt me, I'm gonna kill you anyway with my bow. So
Allegedly,
nah, ain't no legend. I'm finna kill you.
you might as well break the sword.
Nah, you just a hater.
Hey
Number one
man,
hater right there.
call me Seiya, the overly cautious hero.
Like when I, like if I know I can't use something, I'm like, oh. Would you be interested in using this? Because I can't use it. Because that's the type of person I am.
Well, yeah, if the person's in your party, you don't really got a reason to break it, but
Shoot, I'd just give it to whoever needs something to need.
try to break it and chance an enemy taking it.
Nah, I don't care. If they kill you, they kill you.
Damn,
It was just meant for you to die.
damn,
That's where your story ends.
damn.
So, yeah. So then we found out that Hariracha, he was part of the Rashangs, a whole nother group,
Damn.
and he was a leader. And eventually they got attacked by the felines, and Yastracha gave him an ultimatum: join or die. And pretty much he joined to save the remaining people that didn't perish already. Late time passes. Later on down the road, he rebuilds his village with his newfound earnings. And then the people got lazy because he started taking care of them like a spoiled dad spoiling his children. And there was a corrupt faction within the Rashangs, and they wanted to get rid of Hiracha because they thought he would betray them eventually. And they told Yastracha that Hiracha was helping them, and they did his hopes to get rid of him, but then get rid of them and become felines. But he didn't. He ended up cutting out that messenger's tongue, and he was like, "Oh, go kill your people," but he didn't want to kill his people. So has Hiracha faked the whole death scene, whole Uchiha massacre, and he helped them escape with some help of some of his subordinates. And so they flee and they start the Rashang started getting real jealous of the feline peoples, and so they started stripping away their powers and their rights and all other sorts of stuff on the ship. And eventually, the felines got tired of that bull jive, and Hericha, he came to the decision to finally kill his own people, which is pretty sad. But it was needed for his own sanity. And then back to flash forward to the fight, Hansung figures out that Hiracha has been compressing himself and expanding himself to give the illusion of his speed because he was getting beat up. And we find out Tower Rule, I'm gonna call this Tower Rule number 2 because it's number 1, number 2 that I remember. Um, that all abnormal abilities come with risks. And so then Hansung gathers acid in one place with a black hole Shinju to kill him. And he's like, oh. And then we find out he didn't kill the mouse. I was like, oh, the mouse is alive. That's great.
Yeah.
So he got the mouse. And so then he started getting sucked up, the cat person. And the ghosts of all the people come by and start talking to him. And then we flash to Bam. And my man is very solemn right here. I'm sad for him though. Really sad. Because he had to kill all those people.
Don't be sad, dog. It was necessary.
Yeah, I said the man that will destroy his sword because he don't want no one else to have no fun.
Hey, man.
Terrible.
The man who lives by the sword will try to kill me with the sword.
Yeah, but if I ain't living by the sword, you ain't got to die by the sword. That's what they say.
Hey,
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
what
So
they
if I ain't
say ain't
living by
always
the
right,
sword,
dog.
9 times out of 10, they right. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we essentially find out that the game was the game that Yastrasa wants to play was to teach one arrogant bastard a lesson. I was like, ooh, okay, got something for Yama. And they pretty much already know how this is going to end. The game will unfold. I was like, oh, how's it going to unfold? And then Rack asks Kun why he's hiding in the brain. Well, hiding in like I guess the command center or some central place Kun found. And he's like, oh, it's because like I'm like the brain, and if I get incapacitated or hurt or something, we're out of commission. But you're like a toe. You can stub you, it doesn't even matter. And I was like, oh, and this is the part right here. I was really sad about this next part. The twins, they find a mice. They find two miceses, and they head off in separate directions. And so Sola, she runs into a feline, and was it Noma runs into White, and then my man White kills her. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, really, bro? You had the mouse. There was like no reason to kill her at all. You just
Yeah.
wanted to kill.
One more soul for him.
Nah, dog. I hope Bam kills him real quick. Get him up out the paint. He don't deserve to live.
I don't think Bam's gonna kill anyone he doesn't need to.
He needs to kill White. He must atone for his transgressions.
White has a lot of transgressions.
Yeah, he does. Cause I'm like, bro, you had the mouse. Why you just ain't leave? And be like, it's like, oh yeah, I had enough. I'm out. No, he just wanted to kill. There's no reason for that.
Pretty much. He's warm enough for what he actually wants.
Nah, you terrible. That didn't need to happen to that poor lady. And then he's like, oh, she's like, we're on the same side. He's like, oh, nope, I don't take sides. Motherfucker. And it's so Bam's ability to draw his bow is getting quicker. And they get a flashback to when Bam and Jinsung's talk about strength. And he's like, it's okay to get stronger for other people, but don't let that power control you. And if you can't save yourself, you can't save anyone. I'm like, oh, snap. That's word to live by. So then White showed up to the field, and Bam doubts White wants to help. And White wants to fight again, and he wants to devour Bam's soul at its tastiest. I'm like, come on, guys, stop. You done got 8 million souls. You just got a soul you didn't need. Greedy. You need to stop eating souls.
White is basically Bam's Hisoka to his Gon.
Yeah. I just want to see Bam just kill him. Can't stand White. Get on my nerves. I hate him more than I hate Rachel.
Nah, I hate Rachel more.
Nah. Rachel's okay. She just misunderstood.
I like Bam. White. I like White as a character.
I can't stand him. Oh yeah, because you bought that life about killing something before, so it can't be used against you. So you would like White.
Nah, White's doing very unnecessary things that I wouldn't do. White's over here like
Then you slaughter a whole village in Elden Rings.
I slaughtered multiple whole villages in Elden Ring.
Exactly. That's you. You're White. Y'all two peas in the pod.
No, 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 no. So,
But
but
what is unnecessary?
you'll see in a few chapters why me and White are different.
No, I don't see nothing.
You gonna
White,
see?
might, I mean, White might got a soul, but you don't. So I don't know. So yeah.
You will see why we're different.
So then my main man Bam, he goes and decides that he's going to take the most difficult jump route. And then on the same hand, I also feel like Bam's underestimated abilities because he's like, I don't know if I'll be able to defeat White, but I kind of feel like Bam is gauging his own strength to like Avankel's strength because that's who he's been training against.
Well, he's also trying to conserve as much as he can because like the ultimate goal here is to save his master, and wasting energy on White could be detrimental to like the energy he might need for the people who are guarding his master.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm like, Bam, I don't think you're all that weak. It'd be, I think it'd be something different. He'd be like, yeah, I don't think I could beat him at this time because that applies in this present moment doing this. But like, the man had to use his second thorn. I haven't seen it out. He just keep getting powered up with the thrusters. So yeah,
Yeah, it's almost like he's
craziness.
leveling them up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Tharasa 2 now or some shit. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
defense level 2 or something. Or I was like, huh.
So you gaining experience in this tower, man? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so
Are you actually isekai? Is this actually an isekai?
yeah, he's the 25th band, bro. That means that he reincarnated 24 previous times.
Did he inherit all of their powers?
He probably did, but didn't inherit their memories.
Damn.
Their memory card malfunctioned. Yeah, so then the ranker that Solo ran into wants her to take the mouse, but under one condition. Uh, sh- she has to free the people that Yastrasha caught, and then we find out that the ranker he studied to protect the animals, and he doesn't like what Yastrasha is doing. And then my man does this creepy little smile at the end once she agrees. I'm like, oh, he's up to something else. And he's like, yeah, can't be trusted. Try to do good for people, can't be trusted. And then so a woman, I think it was Arya, shows up to fight Hats and Isu, and she pretty much is too much for them. And then Cha intervenes, and she says something like, "Oh, she's like, I'm gonna let y'all live, but I'm gonna go somewhere else because I want to be myself for a while." I'm like, "What you mean? You got multiple personalities? What's going on?" And then she's like, "Oh, don't fight the guy with the white hair and dark skin." And Yama and Yastracha, they start to fight, but they only have 10 minutes to complete, which is part of the cage condition. So, and then Yashrasha shows him the true meaning of transformation. And then 5 minutes pass, and Yama can do an external transformation. Yama has a strange feeling fighting Yashrasha. And Yashrasha's like, oh, that's the feeling of the true masters of territory can never feel. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? He says that is his right not to be dominated by anyone. And we get the whole backstory as to why, was it Baylord Doom told him not to fight. And it turns out that Yastrasha had planted a fang in him that makes him capitulate to stuff and then bound him. And so Yama supposedly feeling fear. And so that's why he's not holding up fighting well. And his all his attacking get dispelled. And then we so fight fighting more continues. Yama gets his head bashed in, and then Yastrasa is like, "Oh, beg for your life and I'll spare you." Yeah, nah, just kill me, dog. I ain't gotta beg for nothing. Ain't too proud to beg.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's it for TOG.
So, how is it?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's real
Nice.
great.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
All right, so we ready for some smut?
baby dog. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Oh, there were some good episodes.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Um,
Yeah, you get past the sexual shit. There's a lot of good content there.
somewhat good content.
All right, so episode 7, Change of Heart. Diablo had a dream about some guys he were hanging with, and like he gave items in a game, but then he overheard them talking shit about him, and they were just using him like to make the game easier. So this like kind of fueled his "I'd rather be alone" mindset, which I think is very very like, come on, dude, this happened when you looked like you were 6. I think it's time you get over it. But um, he's like making potions with Shira while Rem and Alicia are out doing whatever the hell they're doing. And Diablo has a moment of like genuine happiness where he's like he wished they can have moments like this forever, and like Shira agreed. But then the flute played and you saw Shira's eyes like lose light. So like it heavily implied brainwashing.
Oh yeah, I knew. I was like, shh, brainwash.
Mm-hmm. And what was weird about that is Diablo, even though he told Rem after like Shira went with her brother, Creep Nissan,
Yeah.
is like he knew about the brainwashing. He could figure that out, but like he doesn't want to get rejected again. Like motherfucker, what? You knew about the brainwashing, but you're still taking it as like rejection. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Whatever. Dumbass.
Yeah.
So they decide to Rem says she's gonna go save her, and she kind of talks Diablo out of his shit. And Alicia go and joins them, and we zoom over to Creep Nissan, who's got Shira chained up and handcuffed, and basically reveals that the flute can manipulate all elves' will, and that's how like he gets her to do what she wants. So then he tries to like force her to say what Diablo has made her do with the enslavement crest, because he wants to hear about all the dirty shit he had her do. And really, the only time he had ever ordered her to do anything was to shake hands with Rem. And that seemed to anger him, but then he was like, well, then I'll show you what needs to be done to that body. Then he pulls out a slime after an explosion goes off in the area with it he paid no attention to. And this slime was trained to like only eat fabric, and he was ready to impregnate his sister. But then she calls for help, and Diablo shows up with Arem and Alicia. Um, Creep Nissan gets mad and summons Forced Hydra. Then you go to episode 8, Heroes Charge. The Hydra looked really cool until it took charge. The Hydra looked really cool until it took its like form with the a lot of teeth and shit. I'm like, damn, you kind of now you just look creepy. You know what I mean, Doug?
Yeah, gang.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Diablo's fighting the Hydra. He unleashed some earth magic and like decapitated one of the heads, but then it showed rapid regeneration, and Shira revealed that like she heard that the Hydra has like a core that moves around its body. And rather than trying to find the core, Diablo just slid under the Hydra and like attacked the whole thing at once. So he defeated the Hydra pretty easily, and then he was going to finish the brother off, but Shira was like, no, even though I hate him, we still grew up laughing together, and I don't want to see him dead. So decided to let him go. In the midst of him running away, fucking Galford shows up and decapitates him, and then like unveils his stealth skill. So then this becomes a fight between Galford and Diablo, because Galford planned to invade Greenwood anyways, and they want to capture Shira and kill anyone who stands in the way. Diablo is like barely fending off Galford. Like Galford was actually doing pretty good against Diablo, and it was just one move at the end when he was about to get his throat cut. I guess the penalty wore off, and Diablo used like lightning bullet or some shit like that, and played it off like Galford was too weak and wasn't worth killing. But like next time he shows up, he'll kill him or some shit like that. I think he said something along those lines.
Yeah, because I think he was trying to just threaten him with a terrible time so that he wouldn't try to do it again.
Yeah. So we wind down. The all the fighting's done. Shira is grieving her brother, and Diablo is, I don't know what takes him so long to recuperate MP like this. He just not have a way to regenerate it in this world. I don't know, but he's laying in bed because he's like out of MP, and then Sylvie shows up with some alcohol and says it restores a little MP, but at least it tastes better than a potion. So he drinks it, going off the logic that there's no drunk status in the game. Man gets wasted right away, and when he looks at Sylvie, he sees like a waifu pillow. So he's just like latches onto her, lays down, and like I guess the ornaments on her bra was like poking him, so he like rips off the bra, and then The show kind of implied his hand sliding down somewhere, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave that up in the air. I'm not sure what he actually did to her, but she was saying he needs to take responsibility.
Oh, he tickled her knee.
He tickled her knee.
Yeah, that's what it said. He was like, "Oh, tickled the knee. I'm real ticklish above my knee," and she's like, "Ah, ah." In that weird way that the smut does.
What are you watching dub or sub?
I'm watching the dub.
They may have changed the dialogues. There was nothing about any knee in my sub.
I like the knee better
Yeah,
because
there was nothing about the
because
knee in my sub, bro.
because yeah, they too much. It's too much smuttiness.
um, so yeah, episode 9, the Holy Night Tale, and this one, not too much here. Just we start off with like a guy. He killed a whole village because he deemed them like worshippers of like the demon lord. And then right away we found out that this guy's name is Sadler, and he is a paladin.
The knights.
And Alicia knows him very well, and he will, if he suspects that anyone worships the demon lord, he'll torture them until he finds out. So then we go back over to Diablo and the gang, and Rem was teaching Shira how to summon, and she summoned a bird that Rem said was good for like you can share vision with the bird, but it's not really that strong. But Diablo was like, nah, nonsense. You can use it, and taught her that you can use the bird to shoot enemies that you can't see. So that's fine. Then Shira says that Rem stinks, so they all go to bathe. But Diablo was too embarrassed to like participate with them because they got completely naked. And the smut kind of came in right there where Rem was kind of just like they were licking. Shira was licking Rem. Rem was like grabbing Shira's tits rough and like pinching her nipples for some reason. Rem actually might have licked Shira too, but they didn't really show it. Diablo took a peek and then said sorry, and Eldelgard showed up to confirm what she heard about Rem and that she's housing the demon Krebskum. Krebskum. Whatever, however you say the name.
Purple skim.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Krebskum. I don't know. Skullum? Skullum?
Crebo skims.
Kreb.
This is
Demon Lord Kreb. I'm a Demon Lord
that's his new
Krebs.
name. Crebo skims.
Krebelskims. Demon Lord Krebs. Krebs.
Yeah.
So basically, this episode, Rem kind of just opens up to Alicia and Shira about the Demon Lord, and like Diablo takes Eldegard up on her offer to unseal the demon because she knows how to do it without killing Rem. And I guess pretty soon, next episode, we're gonna see Diablo versus Demon Lord Krebs.
Maybe.
There was a moment with Paladin. They actually ran into the Paladin, Sadler,
Yeah.
and it seems like he was kind of waiting for Alicia to bring Diablo to him. He used magic in front of Diablo, and then Diablo called him out on it. And then when he tried to use like try to turn Diablo into like stone, we know how that turned out. Magic got reflected, and he got turned into the stone himself.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Man was like, I need to introduce myself normally. I'm the Demon Lord Diablo. Crap, that was too normal.
Yeah. It was. I was like, man, what is you doing, babies? Out here just doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you want to talk a little bit about Spider?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. I was like, there's a lot of stuff there. First off, it's not linear. It's one of those ones that I felt like it was two parallel shows at like one time. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I kept hating the fact that we like kept leaving the spider. I was like, I don't really give a shit about these kids.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a good show.
So
Yeah, because I was,
hold on. So like, do you think that the guy is a girl because he's gay? Because they made that joke in the past that like he was also into men.
could just be, I think it could just be the fact that there's only a certain amount of available people
No, no,
for
because
use or
the
something.
administrator D said she put each soul with the body that best matched them, and
Yeah.
then the flashback came back to me, or I remembered it, where like they teased the idea of like him either being bisexual or gay, and he was saying I like girls just fine, and I was like, oh, is he in a girl's body because he's actually like gay or bisexual? And it's just like,
I mean, I'm gonna say that's if that's the case, that's yet to be seen. But I think that might be more so of like that girl may have just had similar interests of whatever his social standard is. But I think it's more so like they only had let's just say they had like I don't know, if they had like exactly like 25, but they had one less girl or something, then it's like you like the point I'm trying to say is that like it might not have been the best suit, but like the best suit available to him at that time is what I'm trying to say.
mm-hmm. And you know, if we did a little more research, we could kind of figure out who the administrator or like narrow down who administrator D is. But I didn't write down the names of like who the teacher said was dead.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was thinking about too. Like she said people were dead, but it was like, why did she say they were dead?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I feel like if that's the case, like,
Well,
or are they?
maybe she thought Wakaba was dead because like the whole time she's been leveling up as a spider, she's had no name on her cursor or her information board. So maybe the system couldn't find her.
I mean, no, like even if you do have like your class roster, because that was her whole ability was
Mm-hmm.
to being able to see whatever someone was doing, and it's like she because like you could see that the other four people were dead, but it's like, come on, like y'all knew that little spider lady was out there. Like I don't know why y'all's flaking and perpetrating.
Right.
Like it just doesn't make sense. And then like she wouldn't tell the kids anything, and she's like, "Oh, because of my skill I have, I can't tell people this, that, and the other about themselves." And it's like, but you told that whole man about something, and he couldn't have told the kids. Like you couldn't have had someone to relay the truth
Right.
to them. Like it just seemed shady from the get go. I was like, you're talking about doing this for like the kids or doing it for them to help or whatever, save them. And I'm like, it it makes sense, but it's like it's also seems shady. Like when she wouldn't tell him, I was like, oh, some sounds fishy already.
It's
So
really
I was like,
making you question which side is the right side and which side is like are the demons actually in the right here?
yeah, I,
Which like and then you have like so like they nonchalantly just like destroyed and killed so many people, the demons, like including the classmates, like the guy who was part of the trio and like didn't want to I forget his name. It was a while, but like the hero, his brother died. The new hero, with Shun, I think his name is.
yeah. Or what the Julius was his name, but the kid's name was Shun or something.
Yeah, so like Shun's friend, it's on the demon side towards the end, and like how he accidentally killed the elf, half human because she got in the way. He was like, I didn't want to kill anyone, but like it's hard to see them as the possibly being the good guys because how nonchalant they are about killing people.
I mean, it's what is it? It's war, so war happens.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. do stuff. But yeah, it's just I didn't like the teacher for that. I felt like she was hiding something the whole time.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
teacher definitely sketchy as hell.
yeah, and Hugo, he was crazy the whole time. Like, why you're a prince dog? Why are you hating on this other kid? Like, go out there and get strong. And the other thing that I thought was funny was like they made a whole big deal about the use of taboo, and it's like, why is taboo even bad?
There,
Like,
I don't recall there ever being an indication that a Shun's taboo level ever being that high. Like
yeah,
out of
well,
nowhere, it was just level 10.
I think it was. Well, I didn't even know he had taboo because I don't even think it came up.
Exactly.
So,
I knew the dragon had a taboo level for being a kin eater because Wakaba also got kin eater.
yeah. So I was like, what's going on here? But yeah, but I'm wondering, I think it's bad because the people, I think they might think it's like, because it gives them all the information, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like you see all the world and like you see who's really bad in the world and who's really doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I could see it. Um,
So for a while, after I figured out there was a time gap before the Demon Lord showed up, I thought that Wakaba was the Demon Lord.
yeah, I didn't know. I just was like, cause I was thinking, and I was like, yeah, hmm. But yeah, I don't know. But it's just, yeah, because they touted taboo like it was something that's supposed to be bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't bad at all. It just gave them all the information about people down in the world. So I think that's probably why they said that they shouldn't get the skill, but it's not a bad skill if your eyes are open to all this different stuff.
No, not at
So,
all. Like it actually made me want to get the manga now.
oh yeah, I didn't got my copies.
I doubt that.
I did from the library.
Oh,
I put in my little things just to see what it was at. So that's what I'm doing, seeing where they're at, trying to translate the end of the TV to where I'm at the chapters. 'Cause I was like, oh yeah, interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Taboo's as bad as it made out to seem, and everyone just makes it seem bad. And the guy being a middle robot, I'm like, why is this? Why is he a robot?
he's got so
It's
many
weird.
fucking clones, dog.
Like you can't kill him. Like the main body, you just like, oh man, this is terrible.
There was just
Yeah,
a lot of like things like, oh, like the vampire baby, Sophia or whatever her name is. Like, oh damn, Walkabout saved her and she turned into this piece of shit. Cause like they were portraying the demons as like bad people. And then
yeah,
like the during the before you know about Sophia being alive, when the demon lords were having a meeting, the guy next to her with the that was also the servant of the family house that Sophia was part of, he was recognizable. I'm like, how did you become on a demon side?
yeah. That's what I was like. Oh, he kind of looks like that guy. And then I was like, oh no, that is that guy.
Yeah, it is that guy.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it started to come together towards the end. Like I didn't. I one when the people they were like, I don't trust the people, the elf people, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't trust them either. Because she hated that the teacher brought them there and didn't tell them the reason or anything. It's one thing to make someone do something and not tell them why, because that's just I feel like that's terrible etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to like at least tell them something. Otherwise, you're just kidnapping kids. Like they kidnapped kids and took them, and Never gave him a whole reason to do so.
What like the problem is, I think the main issue here is like since a lot of them were taken young, it would have been fine. No matter like, even though like they killed to do it, they like bought some of them, but like you kidnapped them and now you have them living as like they're barely living a life.
Yeah, like they don't interact with anyone or anything, and it's like, what kind of life is that?
Yeah, you saved them from living, but like they're not living. I mean, you saved them
Yeah,
from dying, but they're not living.
yeah. So it's yeah, it's I don't agree with it too much, but that's what they do,
Oh
and
well,
I'm just like, yeah, terrible stuff. So, but I did enjoy it. I'll
it,
probably read it some more.
it was good. I mean, I still enjoy slime better, but like I
What? This is better than slime.
nah, you crazy.
Yes, I am crazy. How did you know?
I had just a feeling.
Hmm. Feel these.
These got him.
Yeah, I got you on that one.
All right, but like, unless you
Mm.
have anything else to talk about, I think we could wrap this one on up.
Yeah, let go ahead and wrap that thing on up. Pretty boy Floyd.
All right, guys. Floyd. You said Floyd, and I remember Lloyd. Damn.
Yeah,
Don't think we're ever
can't
gonna
get
see
those
Lloyd
stuff.
again.
Yeah, I think that was dead. They ain't gonna bring that thing back.
Oh man. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for this week's installment of Herbal Synergy. Uh, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.